So I'm making a video that shows how to reupholster the back seats. This is a 66 Caprice. It'll be the same on 66 Impala, and pretty much several year Impalas will be the same, as well as a lot of other General Motors cars. First thing you got to do is take the hog rings off that are holding the seat cover on. We go around the perimeter and take them all off. After you get the hog rings pulled out, we also got some burlap at the top and the bottom. We'll be replacing it because it's dry rotted anyway. So we're just going to cut it off too. It comes over to the speaker part and then it stops. All right, so now we're working on the top of the back seat, or the back of the back seat. And at the top here, they had pieces of burlap. And I guess it's to keep the, I don't know, to keep the upholstery from going down in there, for whatever reason it's there. We're gonna put it back. So we're gonna cut it. Kind of got it in place here. I'm gonna make it a little bit wide so I can fold it over on the edges. So I'm just gonna hook it on every hook that's there. We ended up ordering a box of hog rings that had 5,000 on Amazon for 30 bucks. It's probably the best deal I've seen. That way we got enough to do this, and we got enough to do my Cadillac seats when I'm getting ready to do them. I'm going to post a video about that. I've got the new upholstery for my Cadillac seats, so it'll be coming up sometime in the future. That's the way the factory had it. I've seen people do all sorts of different stuff. I saw one video where a guy, or it was actually from the upholstery company, they made their they covered their seat in vinyl, instead of covering it in the blanket like we've done. So I really don't think it matters a whole lot as long as you're putting something on there to protect the new upholstery. I haven't found a video that exactly shows you a bench or a rear seat that has a speaker grill in it, but I did it on my 65, so this might be one of the only ones around that has that, which is really not much different. You just have to, it has a cutout for the speaker grill and you have to work around that. I did this same thing before on my 65 Impala back seat. Those seats are identical. But I didn't make a video back then. I wasn't making videos. And that's the way they had it from the factory. Of course, the burlap is long gone and rotten. So now we're just going to cover the seat, the top of itself with the burlap. What I try to do is overlap it on all the sides so that I can fold it over when I put the burlap on there. We got some very hot weather here. I'm going to take this seat covers and put it outside in the sun so it'll get warm up. So this burlap, this is the edge of it, and it's extra thick there. It's like double thick, so I'm not going to worry about folding it over. that completes that. Now I've got to cover it in the blanket material. So next I've got this 2-inch foam, and I'm cutting it to fit. This foam came from Classic Industries. I think it's probably way overpriced for what it is. But you want it to touch at the top. This is the top of the back seat. So you put it down there, you want it to touch and fill in that gap. So when you put the cover on, it's gonna perfectly fit there. And then on the sides, you want it to overlap the edges of the springs. And on the bottom, we'll make it do just the same as we did at the top. There's not as much going to be visible at the bottom. It's going to be tucked in the crack of the seat. So it should overlap nicely. We'll have to cut it out around our speaker hole. So we'll have to have listing wire here. This was a long piece of listing wire. You can use coat hangers if you want. Basically, you just gotta have something in there. Our original stuff was so rusted we can't reuse it. We've used electrical wire on some stuff too. You can run a piece of wire up through here and it works fine. Some of the aftermarket stuff uses a plastic like beading material, so if you can use that, I know electrical wire will work fine too. There's one here in the speaker cover as well. Just put it in there and cut it where you want. These don't fully reach side to side, so I'm going to overlap them here in the middle. It'll work. The only thing we're really going for here is something to be able to pull against. You got to have something in there. You can't just attach it to the cloth, it'll rip out. There we go, we got the one in the front complete. Now I'm going to go get some electrical wire for the one in the, that's curved here. We'll run a piece of electrical wire around it. Here's my electrical wire. It's kind of stiff. It's probably number 14 maybe. Something I've had laying around for years that was free to me. So it's perfect for this. Perfect price. Just kind of got to feed it up in here. It's going to be easier said than done. Went around there pretty easily. I'm just going to cut it and leave a little extra long there. I'm going to do the same thing around this side. Alright, so I got it on this, sticking out both sides. Cut it off here. Now you want to try to center the thing up. It is. Then you start folding it down over the edges. this Caprice upholstery is very nice looking. I think it was well worth the wait. He had to wait months to get this. The only place we were able to find it was Hubbard's. So the way you do these, you work from the center out. So that's exactly what we're going to do. And the center of this is kind of weird because it's Impala. I mean, you got your speaker grill. So the places where you attach it is on the back side here. It's got loops. It's kind of difficult when you're difficult to get to, I think. Start off, yep, working by yourself. I may have to have an additional hand on it. I'm going to attach it on this side first. I'm going to go right in the middle, so directly in the center of this centerpiece. I'm going to put a couple here in the middle, spaced about 2 inches apart. So as you can see, this thing's already looking good, and I haven't even hardly got started. It's puffed out really nicely. One side of the speaker grill attached. I'm getting ready to do the second. Alright, so I got that one in. Now I'm going to move out. Keep moving outward. That's what I was doing. Is, hold on. Okay. That made a difference.
Definitely easier than trying to pull with nothing to get a hold of.
Still looks good for what we've done.
Yep. Yeah, it's much easier.
Let's do this one.
Much smarter and easier. You want to just spin it around?
So the speaker cover, you have to attach it around the frame here. There's nowhere to attach it at the bottom really. So you just have to attach it on the sides. And then when you put the speaker grill in there, it's going to cover it up. All the hog rings. Okay, so we got the back piece completed. And overall, they're pretty easy. Around the speaker grill is a little bit challenging, but not bad. But you can see it looks really good. And it'll work the wrinkles out. The wrinkles will work out with a little bit of heat in the car. But now we got one more piece left and we'll have everything completed. Okay, so we're getting ready to put the foam on here, and they don't make or we couldn't find a pre-made foam for this seat, so we're using the foam like this. Some people will glue a strip around the front to make it kind of cap over the end. I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to put the cover on there and let it bend over the end. And even on the ones that cap over, they don't stick down very far. The tension of the seat, you don't see the edge. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to cut this and let it hang over, and we're going to see how that works out. So we don't have the listing wire that came in these. They were rusted out on the car pretty bad. We're going to run a piece of electrical wire in here like we did before around the side here, and we'll put coat hangers in the back part. That stuff goes pretty easy because it's slick.
Yeah, except for the end.
It's started there. A lot easier with two people.
I'm sure. But this is solid too. See, the other we used was stranded.
This is a little thicker.
But I'm saying, I think it makes it easier to push.
Mm-hmm.
It ain't so limp. It's got some integrity. I'm stuck.
Now let's pull the slide out.
Well, you gotta run it through this one too?
Mm-hmm.
This wire?
No, we're around this through there.
That long enough?
I doubled it up on the other one.
Oh, you put two of them in?
Mm-hmm. This is so much stiffer and tougher. That's why I used it on the straight part. We're about to put the cover on. We've cut it out. We've centered it up. Now we center this up with the center of the frame. The first thing we're going to do is put a hog ring in the center here to hold this thing down. And then we'll come up to this side and do the same thing. And we'll work our way out from the middle. So we're going down, started from the middle, we're going down both sides. And we're attaching it just like we did on the other. And it's particularly difficult to attach here in the back side. Okay, so we completed putting the cover on the bottom of the rear seat. Overall, we're pretty happy with it. Got a couple little wrinkles here that weren't what we preferred, but overall it come out good. I'm hoping when the sun, as it sits in the car, hopefully all that stuff will straighten out maybe once it gets warm. We're very happy with the results of it. It took us about 2 days to do this, from start to finish. If you knew what you're doing and did it all the time, I'm sure you can do it faster, but this is the second time I've done it, and he's never done it before, so we're pretty happy with it.